Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of the Crystal Challenge. Now, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your intuition, or what some people might refer to as your psychic development, or your using the psychic muscle. For me, I think it's easier for a lot of people to wrap their head around understanding your intuition, because it's something that it's a word that we've used. To use the word psychic for a lot of people makes them feel a little uncomfortable. Not that it should. It's a perfectly wonderful word. But there are 4 main intuition or psychic abilities that a person can have, and models that you can go with, and we each use them every day, with or without knowing that that's what we're doing. The really cool thing when you're doing it with a purpose of understanding something like connecting to your crystals is that once you start tapping into it, and once you start understanding, oh, that's what I'm doing, a whole different sense comes about with everything, because you start looking and viewing it in other ways and aspects of your life. So when I'm talking about these, I want you to sort of think and ask yourself which one would be your prime intuition that you count on. The one that it's like, oh wow, yeah, no, this happens to me all the time. And that's the one that we're going to use as an exercise, or you're going to use as the exercises to start really connecting with your crystals. The other ones that you're going to, of the 4, so one will be your primary, and then you have secondary, and then so on and so on, all the way down to your least strongest. And once you start understanding all of that, and you'll be able to relate it to what we're doing in the connecting of your crystals. I hope that makes sense. So let's start. Clairsentient, or it's your inner feeling when someone is speaking about that. It's your senses. It's what you sense. It's your hunches, your intuition, your gut feeling. And it's probably the most prevalent in many people, because we do refer to the term, oh, my gut feeling. So that would be your clairsentient. An exercise that would be really good to do with this is to hold either someone else's item, or better yet, hold your crystal. I would prefer if you made it with your crystal. However, if you really want to test both, you can do this where you use it with your crystal, and then maybe you hold someone else's item separately and see what your results are. So you can do this. And then what is it, as you're holding it, and I want you to hold it in your least dominant hand. And what is it that you're getting? What kind of feel or vibe, or maybe a story is coming forth for you? Give that a shot and see what comes forth. See how that works. While you're doing it, don't overthink the thoughts that are coming to your head, because that fleeting thought could and probably is the information that you're looking for. When you're first starting to play, and I always say when you're first starting to play with your intuition, when you're first starting to play with your psyche, it can get a little bit uncomfortable, because suddenly you're focusing on those fleeting thoughts that have been naturally going through your mind. This time you're actually focusing on them. You may end up focusing on it, and it's not a thought, but it's a feeling around your body. It's just something that's going on that's different. So that's connecting to your clairsentient, your inner feeling, and understanding that. Now, your inner vision or using your third eye, your sixth sense, is seeing. That's clairvoyance, and it means that you're seeing things. And this, for some people, they can see spirits, or they can see energies. That's a really, really powerful and fantastic gift. You might know people that can see auras, or the energetic force field around people and items. And that's a really cool thing. Way to play with this is to close your eyes. Close your eyes, and for using a crystal, place the crystal on your third eye, right up here on your forehead. What is it that you get? What is it that you see? And by closing your eye and doing that and seeing through here, that gives you added information. Now you can do that with working with auras as well, but that's a different exercise, so I don't want to get them confused. So try playing with that. Use the crystal. You can also do it where you don't put the crystal up here, where you just hold it again in your hand, and you hold your hand open so that visually you would see it, but yet your eyes are closed at this point, and you're seeing it with your third eye. So you're exercising it in that way. See how that works. That would mean that your strength is clairvoyance when communicating with the crystals. So claircognizance is an inner knowing, and a lot of people have that as well. For me, that's one of my strong suits, is an inner knowing. I actually work with all the clairs, but once I started understanding what claircognizance was, it was as though it was this aha moment of, oh, so that's what all of that has been all my life. So this one, it really works with our crown chakra. This one really works with, it's almost as though we're being downloaded information. Think of it as though the question's typed into Google, and the Google page is dropped down with all the information. You got it. You don't know why you have it, but you have the information, and you go on. So you just know things without being told, which can be a really, really, really cool and fun thing, especially, if you get really good at it. My husband just loves that. But this one is a case of trusting. The whole part of this is just trusting what it is that you're getting. And the way that claircognizance really becomes stronger is through meditation. And meditating and opening and expanding yourself out, not just out and down, but out. You want to connect down, and then you want to connect out, and you want to connect up. And when you're doing that, that's when you know that you're knowing. The claircognizance really starts to work for you. So the other clair that's really cool, and I know many people who have this, and that's clairaudience. That's your inner hearing. That's when you have the ability to hear things that other people don't hear. And the way you can practice this is by listening. You'll listen to different parts of music, or you'll listen to well, let's see. I have an exercise here. Let me read the exercise that I have written out already, word for word for you, only because I don't want to confuse this exercise with something else I want you to do. So I don't want to mix the two. So let me read this one for word. A good exercise to strengthen this is imagine different sounds, like your favorite song playing in your head, or a musical instrument such as a piano, and then you want to practice that. So the room is really quiet, but you're playing and you're hearing inside your head without humming, because I hum. I'll hum, I'll whistle, I do all of that, but you want to try to do it without making any auditory noise, because you don't want to confuse your actual hearing with your inner hearing. And if you practice this, it's just going to get stronger and stronger. Another great thing to think about when you're wanting to understand what your clairs are you somebody who can turn a radio on or turn on Pandora or whatever, a satellite radio, whatever it may be, and almost always it's the same song. You might have a question and then the song comes up and pretty much it's the same spot or not too far from the same spot where you always seem to just jump in and hear the song. That's a way that your clairaudience is working for you, because obviously you aren't seeing the rest of the information or the rest of the stuff that's happening with you. So it's starting to come to you through song or through commercials. You might have the television on and you start hearing certain words over and over and over again repetitively. So these are things to think about. I know I just gave you a lot of information with regards to the clairs, and I want you to see, and I read this. I wanted to show you. I read this from this wonderful card book. It's the best explanation of it that I've ever come across, because it's short, it's sweet, and it's concise. And I wanted to make sure I had something so that I didn't lose focus. But when you're working with your clairs and you're developing your clairs and you're starting to work your intuition with your crystals, it's really important to understand how to work these senses. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about the colors of crystals and how it works and why, some of the meaning, so that you can start understanding maybe your connection with the color of the crystals that you're being drawn to. Remember, this whole challenge is about you becoming more connected with your crystals. Until next time, keep being the best version of you. And remember, now is the time to let your soul sing. Bye for now.